My friends, what the Pentagon has just revealed is not just a budget, it's a death certificate for the hegemony of dictatorships. While the globalists in Washington spent the last 2 decades talking about diplomacy and soft power, the axis formed by China, Russia, and Iran was arming itself silently. But the game has changed for good. Donald Trump has just put more than $1 trillion on the table for the 2027 fiscal year. This means that the era of American weakness is over, and the rebuilding of the only barrier that separates the free world from absolute chaos has begun. Write down this number: $1.5 trillion for the Air Force, for the Navy, for the Marines, for the Space Force, and for the U.S. Army. The last time the world saw a leap of this magnitude was after World War II. Trump understands that in this new world, peace is not achieved just with agreements on paper, but through brute force. This plan is the largest rearmament in 80 years, a move that takes the United States out of the inertia of the Biden and Obama administrations, which deliberately weakened the country. Yes, my friends. Now, stay with me because today I'm going to show you how this $1.5 trillion package checkmates Beijing, Moscow, and Tehran before they even think about firing the first shot. The time of comfortable advantage is over. Now, the survival of the West depends on the industrial capacity to crush any threat. Subscribe, enable notifications, and leave a like. To understand the magnitude of this geopolitical earthquake, we need to look at what is being called the Golden Fleet Initiative. Trump allocated $65.8 billion just for shipbuilding in 2027. Those of you who follow me know that the Americans have lost their shipbuilding capabilities, and this means a very big danger for American hegemony around the world. With that in mind, the Pentagon is now ordering 18 new combat ships and support vessels all at once. The largest order since 1962. Yes, my friends, since 1962 the Americans stopped building ships, but it's not just about numbers. Japan and China may be churning out ships, but Trump is bringing back the concept of the great battleships, now with 22nd century technology. The new Trump class is a 30,000-ton floating fortress. I'll leave the video about this project up here in the cards for you to watch later. This means that the United States will have ships capable of carrying massive amounts of missiles and, for the first time in history, directed energy weapons and long-range cannons that nullify the Chinese Navy's numerical advantage. While China focuses on filling the sea with low durability, small ships, Trump is fielding a level of lethality that Beijing can't intercept or map on their radars. So the sea will cease to be a contested space and will become a territory of absolute American dominance. The cost of challenging this fleet will be instant annihilation. In addition, the budget provides for a jump in the production of F-35 fighter jets to 85 aircraft a year. This means that the United States will have the largest 5th-generation fleet on the planet, operating in sync with the new Columbia and Virginia-class submarines. The goal is to ensure that if China tries any move against Taiwan in 2027, it will face a barrier of steel and silicon that leaves no gaps. The investment of $102 billion in aviation and research ensures that the F-47, the new 6th-generation stealth fighter of the United States, and the B-21 Rider bomber are ready to black out any enemy capital, without a single warning signal being issued. But what really terrifies the axis of dictatorships is what Trump calls the Golden Dome. Biden and Obama left American skies exposed to hypersonic missiles and low-cost drones. But Trump has just figured out the game and will allocate $185 billion to create an unbreakable shield. In 2027 alone, $17 billion will be invested, 5 bilhões, to accelerate this multi-layered defense that goes from space to the bottom of the sea. This means that American territory will be untouchable, and it doesn't matter what Iran or North Korea try to do. The leader's logic is simple. You can't project strength if your own backyard is vulnerable. The Golden Dome uses space sensors and state-of-the-art interceptors like the Patriot and the THAAD. The Golden Dome system uses space sensors and state-of-the-art interceptors, such as the Patriot and the THAAD system. to neutralize ballistic and hypersonic missiles even before they re-enter the atmosphere. So the nuclear blackmail of dictatorial regimes loses its bargaining value. If the enemy knows they can't hit you, they lose the only card they had up their sleeve. The Golden Dome is the guarantee that American sovereignty doesn't depend on the goodwill of global bureaucrats, but on the technology that shields every inch of the country. Now stop for a second and imagine the level of desperation in Moscow and Beijing when they see that the billions invested in hypersonic missiles have just become obsolete. And for those who say that China doesn't care and Russia isn't bothered, both have already issued statements condemning this plan by Trump. But the American president isn't just building weapons, he's building the enemy's obsolescence. The investment in data infrastructure and artificial intelligence for the Golden Dome ensures that the system learns and adapts to each new threat in real time, creating a barrier that learns from the aggressor's mistakes. It's the end of the era of vulnerability. The world saw in Ukraine and the Middle East that the nature of war has changed. And Trump understood this before all of his generals. He is injecting his $6.6 billion into autonomous systems and drone warfare. This is the largest investment in history in this area, which means that the United States is creating an army of robots capable of saturating the battlefield without risking the life of a single American soldier. While Iran prides itself on its Mosquito fleet, Trump is preparing a swarm of autonomous AI-guided drones that can coordinate mass attacks. The fact that they can saturate the battlefield without risking a single soldier is a direct message to China, Iran, and Russia. The axis of dictatorships is trembling. But why are they trembling? Because they thought the United States had succumbed to woke culture, to ideological whining, and had forgotten its true role in the world. And to finance this unprecedented rearmament, Trump is applying what we call strategic realism. He is proposing cuts of $73 billion in areas that do not directly serve national security, such as ideological health research, bureaucratic home heating programs, and non-military science agendas. This means that the money is being taken out of the hands of globalist bureaucrats and put directly onto the battlefield. It's the mentality of a farmer who knows that to harvest security, you have to cut the weeds that consume the riches of your life. He does this because he knows he must pay the price of life.
Foram usados como ferramenta de controle político. Trump quer transferir a gestão do Medicaid e do Medicare para os estados, reduzindo o peso do governo federal e focando os recursos de Washington.
Does harvesting require it? Common defense. This is the break in the pattern that the left fears the most. They want a country that is in debt and unarmed. Trump wants a sovereign and protected country. The $39 trillion debt is a real risk. Many consider this debt to be unpayable, and others claim that this $39 trillion debt spells the downfall and defeat of what they call the American empire. Well, Trump knows that the only way to sustain the dollar is by ensuring that it is backed by the most powerful navy the world has ever seen. This move is a direct message to China. The time of the comfortable post-Cold War advantage is over, and the United States will no longer finance its own destruction through globalist agendas. Every American tax dollar now has one goal: to ensure that the Indo-Pacific does not fall into the hands of Xi Jinping. The strategic redirection is the recognition that we are in a new era of great power competition and that second place in this race does not win a silver medal. What we are witnessing is the preparation for what analysts call the harvest of 2027. Trump is planting $1.5 trillion now to reap absolute peace in the near future. The goal is that in 2027, when China looks at the size of the American arsenal, the Golden Dome, and the fleet of autonomous drones, it will give up any military adventure before it even begins. It's the ultimate application of the doctrine of peace through strength. If the enemy knows that defeat is inevitable, they won't attack. The scale of this rearmament is the final ultimatum to the axis of dictatorships. Trump is proving that American determination, when combined with the most advanced technology on the planet, is a force of nature that no one can stop. The $1.5 trillion budget is the hammer that will forge the new American century. Free from the influence of radical clerics and communist dictators, Checkmate has been delivered and the enemy's pieces are starting to tremble on the board. And then I ask you, do you think this plan is really going to work? And the decoding continues there in our uncensored bunker. You know, that many topics, many terms, many names we can't say here. We're on borrowed ground that's controlled by others. It just takes a single signature for everything to go down the drain. But there in our intel bunker, free from censorship, I show the influence maps and the reports that the system tries to hide from you. We already have more than 3,000 subscribers funding the truth and protecting the mind. Access is in the first pinned comment and in the video description. Point your phone at the QR code and go straight to our page. And if you want to protect your family's perception against this ideological filth that tries to weaken our nation, our channel with series and movies featuring wonderful recommendations without woke culture, without whining, is now available here on the card, also in the pinned link and in the video description. Now subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and leave your like to strengthen our information sovereignty. Trump is right. That scenario or diplomacy still had a chance. Comment here, what about Brazil? What will become of Brazil in this new era where the world is arming itself? Will we be slaves? Will we be masters of our own destiny? I would really like to know your opinion. Now shield your mind. I am Shimon Oliveira and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.